Because I have all these fucking cool stories that are fucking useless to me. What am I gonna? When am I ever gonna get mileage out of the story?
When am I gonna monetize my stories?
Right.
Come on, let's just
commoditize it.
Let's just commoditize my entire fucking life.
Well, no, dude, I love telling the chess story because that's such a fucking cool story, and I never get any use out of that.
Yeah.
And also, people just like, I don't know, it's like adding layers to like. To me, I love it when I get to learn more about a creator and like their personal side and what they actually like.
Yeah.
And like, I think that, I don't know, I'm just gonna fucking say it. I love fucking talking. I love talking. I just won't shut the fuck up.
I mean, I would argue we wouldn't have a podcast if we didn't like talking.
It's true.
Right?
That's true.
That's true. That's why I can stream just chatting for like 4 hours because I'm a fucking psychopath. I guess I just won't shut up.
I have too many stories to hold.
I just want to keep fucking chatting shit. I don't know. I love talking, and it's great being able to. I love talking about YouTube as well. So I think it's such a
Because you never get the opportunity to do
you
it.
never
You never, because all of our friends, all of our family, they don't know what the fuck we do.
Yeah, and I could talk about it with you guys, but I pretty dominate every single conversation we have off the podcast. You know what I mean? So it's nice to just talk about it here, and then we can just chat shit like poopy poo poo stinky, in private. We're
sorry for anyone who got into this podcast thinking it was going to be like an anime exclusive podcast.
Yeah, because I know on the
I think you two were worried about that, and I was like, no, dude, I want it to be fucking like chatting.
I don't know. Like I wanted to be like
mix.
Eventually, we start off as an anime podcast, right?
And then we eventually grow out.
And then we can eventually maybe start tangenting out. But no, right from the get-go, first episode we were like,
I'm glad.
Let's not talk about any
Japan.
anime. Japan. Let's
go.
talk about Japan. Yeah, but we're really glad that you guys have like kind of stuck around and just enjoyed us chatting shit. Like arguably more so than us chatting about anime.
Yeah.
I wonder. Going back to the previous topic, is it like because you hear a lot of advice that YouTubers give to people? I think a lot of it's pretty shit. Let's be honest. A lot of it's pretty fucking.
Like how so?
Like
I mean, don't give examples necessarily, but like how are they shit?
Right. There is there's generic phrases that YouTubers say, and let's be honest, we say it because it's fucking easy. Like
you mean what I'm going to call like the convention panel
Give
answers.
me the most stereotypical, and I'll say if these are the shit ones. Give me the most stereotypical answers on advice when someone asks you how to be a YouTuber.
Just be yourself.
Oh, okay, that is fucking terrible advice.
Shake my head.
Do you know how many people I know who are insufferable? I have so many mates where I'm like, listen, you're a fantastic fucking mate, but if you act like this on camera, no one's gonna want to watch. You know what I mean? You have a lot of mates. You're like, you just kind of come off as a dick.
See, because for me now, I used to say just be yourself, right? And just have fun with it. Have fun with it, But nowadays, I just make it a meme because I get asked so many times. So when someone's like, how do you start becoming a YouTuber? I just say, upload button. Click the upload button.
Are we actually going to break this down?
Should we give advice? I think why not? Because people want to know fucking YouTube advice, and we may as well like actually give good advice.
Okay, how to become a successful YouTuber from Trash Taste. I feel like we say generic advice because there's I feel like the generic advice that we give is like the core of like
it is true,
the advice.
but it's fucking useless to most people.
It is useless because there's only so much you can say at like a half-hour panel. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where it's like, in the show when the old man gives advice and you're like, that's fucking dumb. And then 10 years later when he actually does it, you're like, fuck, he was right. That's pretty much the advice. Like, because you're like, it's completely useless to anyone starting out because that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. But when you've been doing it for this long, it is the core, like you said.
Yeah.
But the be yourself thing is like, I think that's the biggest like
cop out. It is a bit of a cop out
because you're not yourself as a normal person. You're not a presenter. No one normally is a presenter or a personality who's made for like camera. You have to get that, and you do it by forcing yourself to act maybe a little bit more exaggerated than you normally would, right? And then over time, maybe you get way more comfortable, and that does become your kind of like default, right?
I don't know, because like be yourself to me is like, I guess, less accurate than just don't try to be someone you're not.
That's true. Don't change your personality.
Like if you are going to play a character that is based on your own self, which is I feel like what like a lot of us do online anyway. You know what I mean? It's just like an exaggerated, perfected version of ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I say like, imagine you on your best day, and that is you on every single one of these YouTube videos.
Yeah,
that's what it should be. It whether or not that should be right, like should you be sad on camera and stuff like that? It's like, it's not really about that. It's think of every single best personality trait you have and show that. Like, make that come through.
Yeah.
And so that does require a bit of fuckery going on with your personality. You do have to change it a little bit. But I found as well that it made me a better person in general. That like the things that were people liked about me became more prominent in my general personality.
Yeah.
So it wasn't more so that I was faking it, more so that the real me kind of changed into a more confident version of myself. And YouTube has a way of really making you see your flaws.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a fine balance as well, because I feel that, it's not gonna it's not about like faking a personality, right? Because
it's exaggerating.
But if you exaggerate it too much,
agreed.
That's when people are like,
then you become
press X to doubt.
Then you become that psychopathic vlogger.
Yeah. Then you become that psychopathic vlogger who is like the most angel image online, but then when you meet them in person, they're an absolute cunt.
Yeah.
Well, it's like sometimes in conventions, people come up to me and like, wow, you're a lot more calm than in your videos. And it's like, well, yeah, because...
Do you get that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am like, though, if I'm fucking crazy in my videos or doing something stupid, like I genuinely am like that, but you can't do that all the time.
Right.
Otherwise you're a psychopath. No one will want to be around you.
You're either a psychopath or Guy Fieri, right?
In real life, it's fucking annoying if you're in a friend group and someone wants to fucking be the center of attention all the time. Like, it's not natural to want the center of attention all the time. Like, it's totally okay to be in a friend group and be like, I'm just not going to say anything for 5 minutes and I'll wait for my time to join in.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't join in at all, that's fine.
Yeah, man, it's whatever.
You can just be there.
Yeah, there's plenty of YouTubers I've met where, you're like, oh, you're totally different.
Oh, yeah.
You are not even
not
close.
going to say any names, obviously, but...
I don't want to get in trouble.
We've had our fair share.
This is the gossip we have behind the scenes, unfortunately.
Yeah, if the cameras weren't on, we'd totally be saying names. Like, yeah, that person sucks.
It's... Because when you see drama on YouTube behind the scenes sometimes, and you're like, wow, everyone is drama that no one knows about. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, every YouTuber you watch probably has some drama.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just about whether
everyone has dirt on someone else.
Yeah,
and
it's just about whether they choose to monetize it.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. That's so true.
But everyone has shit with other people. It's very natural.
I mean, I've had issues with other YouTubers before, but I've always done it in private, and I've always squashed that beef in private. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've always, if someone's crossed the line, I've told them. You know?
Yeah, I guess going back to general advice on how to be a successful YouTuber, I think one thing that's not really mentioned a lot is just know who your audience is. Like, don't try to appeal to everyone. You know what I mean?
No.
Because don't try and please everyone.
You're going to be disliked by a lot of people.
Yeah, you're going to be disliked by a lot of people. Just accept that. I feel like one thing that not many people think about, especially like even us when we started, we didn't really think about it. We didn't really think, oh, I want to be this kind of person or aim for this kind of audience. But it's something you kind of grow into. And now all three of us have very different brands in terms of like what our content is about. And it's something we grow into. But you, like anyone who's trying to be a YouTuber, has a harder time getting into that because you have way more competition.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know that if I were just starting YouTube out today, I would be totally different. Like my content would be totally different than what I'm doing now.
Definitely.
And that's because I exist, right? So if I exist, then you can't do the same thing. You can't exist in the same space that I do.
Right.
And so one thing that you got to find is like a unique way to make yourself memorable. Right. And that might sometimes that might just be how you approach your content. Sometimes that may be your personality. But a lot of the successful YouTubers that are rising up quickly have found a way to make their own niche, even if it's like this very saturated market. Like I think the person who like sticks out to me the most recently I can think of was like Nakey Jakey and how like fast he rose, and that's because his content and the way he delivered it was just so unique compared to every other gaming content out there. Even though gaming was such a saturated market,
gaming essay side of YouTube is everywhere.
And I would say like that's one extreme. You don't have to go like as unique as him, but even like a lot of other people who are rising up have found a way to make their own voice unique or make their presentation unique or something that is memorable about them, if that makes sense.
And it's funny as well because a lot of those types of YouTubers tend to be the most humble.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because like I remember in a Nakey Jakey video, he once said like, because I'm just JonTron on an exercise ball. That's what he said. That's what he called himself. He's like, I'm JonTron on an exercise ball. And I'm like, you shouldn't sell yourself that short because he's completely different. He's made up his own thing. And I feel, as you said, that's the thing, right? It's like there's nothing wrong with getting inspired by an already existing YouTuber.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you know, being like, I like that aspect of this YouTuber, so I'm going to take that into my own thing. But there's a difference between getting inspired by PewDiePie and then trying to be PewDiePie 2.0, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think when I started YouTube, I think like I definitely loved Gantz videos, but I just knew that like, that just doesn't work with me. As much as I'd love to be able to make a giguk video, I just can't. I can't pull it off.
It's a giguk video because it's a giguk video.
Right.
I mean,
and you kind of I think you learn. A good YouTuber will learn very quickly what tools they're working with.
Yeah.
And you can figure out what you can kind of get out of that.
Yeah.
It's difficult though, because I think, again, like you've said, like a lot of people would like specialties are coming up now. So if you want to join something like gaming, you need a fucking good skill to separate you.
Exactly.
So think like, you know, if you're making a video, like, is it just another carbon copy of someone else's? Or I always told myself, like, let's say, even though we're in different genres, right? Let's say Markiplier uploads a video, right? At the same time I upload a video.
Yeah.
What reason does someone have to watch my video over his? Because, you know, this is the problem, right? It's only X amount of time in the day and you need the eyeballs on you.
Yeah.
So you need to make your videos as good as the best people on YouTube. Otherwise people aren't going to watch.
Yeah.
Like some people will, and they'll be very grateful because you're doing a very niche thing. But in general, you need to make your content like as good as other people around you. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. This is the fundamental.
Yeah, because everybody starts off small.
Yeah, everyone starts off small. The problem is that the YouTube algorithm doesn't give a fuck at your size.
I mean, I'd say that I obviously agree. You should make your content as good as possible. I just don't think, especially as a small growing YouTuber, making your content as good as like some of the bigger YouTubers.
You're not going to, but you should have that mindset of.
No, you should eventually. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're starting out YouTube, some of the charm is just discovering this unknown YouTuber who just like is like a diamond in the rough, right? You shouldn't be like the quality of your videos. You shouldn't need to think that you need to make like a JonTron fucking quality-esque video right off the bat, because like I feel like you should getting into YouTube. You should understand what YouTube is at its core.
Yeah, because I think I watched like, and I still do. I watched like 40 hours plus of YouTube a week.
Yeah.
And been doing that for like a decade.
YouTube at its core isn't a video hosting platform. YouTube at a core is a friendship simulator. And I mean that's it is.
I really want to be friends with Report of the Week, man. I love that man's videos. Because the thing is, a lot of the most successful YouTubers, you know what their personality is like, and a lot of the reason why I started watching like YouTubers big or small is because I like part of their personality, and there was some like even if there was someone I hated, there was part of their personality or part of their content that I couldn't stop watching or drew me to it, right? And I feel like a lot of the successful YouTubers have been able to kind of like convey their personality into their content in some way. That's true.
That goes back to like being like memorable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know, it plays into like parasocial relationships and all that, which is a totally fucking different topic. But if you're talking about success, like it's basically you the more like you can become successful quickly by just having people who relates to you as a person, and that's true. And that goes into, you can't please everyone because your personality is not going to appeal to everyone. But having your own, putting yourself out there, and if people like you or if people find part of you interesting and you can convey that, then you will grow as a YouTuber.
It's true. I think unfortunately everyone can't be like ultra mega charming right off the bat. Like I mean. Like Report of the Week, I love that guy's. I love him, and that kind of personality doesn't come along often, right?
No.
It's just pure charming and like innocence. But you know, like what if you have like fucking just a normal, medium, boring personality, right? Like I feel like I probably had like a boring ass personality.
Oh yeah, no.
Right?
All of our first videos were just like
but it's like developing that along as you're finding your niche, like you said, like going into it, like knowing your audience. Like these are all important things.
Like, you know, I was someone who was like this, you know, awkward, antisocial kid.
Same.
And especially like as a YouTuber, I still don't feel like I've changed a lot. I just know that, hey, like if I'm gonna be when I realized, hey, if I'm gonna be a fucking degenerate, let's just go all out. I don't fucking give a shit anymore. You know what I mean? And it's just taking part of yourselves and just like going full throttle with it. I don't know because I knew.
I agree.
Yeah, I knew like that's just gonna make you stand out. You know what I mean? And like I'm not ashamed of being a fucking degenerate, and I'm fucking glad that I took that change in my content. You know?
Yeah.
Because it just made me like it just made me less embarrassed about being who I was originally, and like. Instead of being a quiet kid, I could just talk about all the shit I was like thinking about, right?
Anime titties.
Anime titties. Let's go, baby.
So bottom line, how to be a successful YouTuber? Be yourself.
I
Just
guess,
be yourself.
I guess that's
that's kind of like
That's
what
what
I'm
it
talking
all
about.
goes back.